What do you see here? If you are thinking sand, you are right. Sand is one of the most common substances on the earth. To us, it typically looks bland and ordinary, each particle identical to the next. No color, no sparkle. You never see someone show off a sand necklace or bracelet. But what happens if you look at sand under the microscope? To the naked eye, all sand looks the same and is pretty dull. But magnified 100-fold or more, each individual grain of sand reveals distinct beauty. We see parts of shells and crystals, all contrasting in shapes and colors. There is a treasure trove in a handful of sand. That is how Jehovah sees each of you. Just as he saw the faithful foreigners and eunuchs for the precious gems that they were, he sees you too. Yes, you who may be restricted by age, health, physical stamina, emotions, or family responsibilities from doing as much in some spiritual activities as you would like to. But those limitations do not define you. Remember that in God's eyes, your worth as a person is not measured by how much you do, but rather how much you try. With eternity and perfection in view, Jehovah chooses to see not your limitations, but your potential. When you serve Jehovah, whole-souled, despite limited circumstances, you sparkle in his eyes. And because you shine so brightly in Jehovah's heart, he will always help you. He will always cherish you.
Aw, thanks, Mark Noumair. So we've just been watching Mark Noumair hosting the May 2023 JW Broadcasting episode, and he's given us a lovely illustration about sand and how it looks brilliant when you magnify it. And this point is supposed to encourage Jehovah's Witnesses who've just been reminded of all of the downsides to being a Jehovah's Witness, such as anxiety and feeling like you're not doing enough, being on this perpetual hamster wheel of lack of self-worth, etc. He's trying to kind of lift their spirits by reminding them that, you know, even sand, if you look at it under a microscope, looks nice. So thank you for that, I guess. I hope you'll all forgive me if I continue to show a picture of you too every time a speaker in one of these videos irritatingly says that. It's just my personal kind of pet peeve. I hate the way they use language in this way. You too can this, or you too can that. For me, it sounds so manipulative and like they're trying to pitch something, you know, like they're trying to make some shady offer. And really, when you think about what Mark Noumair is saying, rather than it simply being about reassuring people and helping people feel validated and helping people feel positive, all of the good stuff that he's promising comes with a massive string attached in the form of the expectations that the organization places on Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's recall where he says,
remember that in God's eyes, your worth as a person is not measured by how much you do, but rather how much you try. When you serve Jehovah, whole-souled, despite limited circumstances, you sparkle in his eyes.
So it's all about serving Jehovah whole-souled. If you want to sparkle in his eyes, if you want to feel precious and attractive and valuable, like that image of the sand under a microscope, you've got to do something in return. You can't just be who you are and just be valued for who you are. You have got to try, you have got to serve Jehovah whole-souled as your circumstances allow. So even in a relatively tame JW Broadcasting sermon, because I've actually managed to skip through quite a lot this month because so much of it is just generic, dull material where Mark Noumair is trying to impress his audience with his Bible knowledge by citing obscure Bible characters and referencing obscure Bible narratives. There's so little of interest, quite frankly. But even when playing it safe and giving what you would think at first glance is just a positive, uplifting message, when you drill down and actually examine the words, there's really more to it. And you can see very, very clearly the expectations that Jehovah's Witnesses are under.